So I completed my senior capstone project as part of the Honors College in the Women's and Gender Studies department as part of their thesis component. And so my project is on queer disabled spectatorship and the enjoyment of horror films. So basically what I did was I looked across 3 different decades, the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, thinking about AIDS and how it impacted the queer community across these 3 decades, and how horror might relate to this experience of how queer people like horror with the perspective of disability.
This semester we've been focusing on sustainable fashion, which is a really big issue to talk about because there's a lot of fast fashion that's going on with all the different trends and everything changing so fast. So there's a lot of fashion waste going into our oceans, landfills, and polluting the environment.
So what we're trying to do is to show that there are ways to dress sustainably and also keep up with trends or dress how you want to with self-expression, and you can do it sustainably. You can make things yourself. You can give old clothes new life. Like for example, this dress is made from an old bed sheet and we made it into a beautiful new dress. And this shirt is made from scrap fabric, and we've had people coming up wanting it.
So I'm part of the DataCraft cohort, and this was a really amazing experience for me because I am super into fiber arts. I've been crocheting for years, and this cohort has allowed me to get into other forms of fiber arts such as weaving, which is what the project that I did here. So the inspiration for this project is basically encoding data. So as you can see, these are like a bunch of photos of basically my family through the years. So binary code is 0s and 1s, and you can put them together to make up things. In this case, I used it to make up letters. So the color ribbon stands for 1s and the white stands for 0s. So I encoded the word family, so F-A-M-I-L-Y.
I'm the data collection lead, team lead for Project Reveal. Basically, our project's main goal was collecting reproductive health information and PDFs that were being kind of changed and altered over the last year or so, and making sure that reproductive health information is accessible in the form of a database. So that was our main goal, making sure that reproductive health information is accessible to everyone.
Over spring break, I went on the first ever Douglas Alternative Spring Break trip, and to kind of represent that experience, I did 4 pieces for Douglas Discovery Day. So this one, for example, it's really kind of alluding to the jazz culture of New Orleans and what it means to be a performer there, and how thankless that job can be, and how much their work is not a performance, it's an expression of identity. This one here really touches on issues of unsustainable tourism and how much that kind of overshadows the issues that the community has been facing. I always like to explain this one with the plastic cheap souvenir masks. Someone should always be looking back at you through those.
I found it really interesting to be a part of La Casa because it's completely unrelated to my major, but with being a part of La Casa, I was able to learn more about my culture and my family specifically, because I also interviewed my mother, and it was a great experience.
It was very insightful. I personally interviewed my mother, and I knew my mother all my life, and I learned a lot of new things about her. I thought it brought me closer to my mother and really put myself in her shoes.
I interviewed an old teacher of mine, and I think what I learned about her was something that I could have never imagined in the 4 years that I went to school with her as a teacher. And I think it shows that immigration or just navigating life in general is not linear, and that everyone has different experiences even if you come from the same place and have the same background.